Well then,
How exciting.
this is exciting. New chapter
Mm-hmm.
in the world of podcasting. What is your thought? What is your thought of like podcasts, like the ones that you've watched? And actually, before we even get there, who are you? What's your name? Like
Bree, and I am the co-star of Unseen Threads.
co-star of Unseen Threads. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'm Malcolm. I mean, every co-star pairing needs two, so I guess I'd be the second. And so yeah, back to what I was saying, because I mean, introductions can be done a little bit later. I'm really curious. When you think of a podcast, what is what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you think of a podcast?
True crime.
True crime.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it true crime? What is that like?
I think a lot of the podcasts that I've like watched and listened to have been true crime, so that's probably why.
So you would say it's influenced by what you've seen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And if you were to explain to people what the Unseen Threads podcast is about, what would you say it's about?
To be honest, I don't know if we even know that yet.
That's true, but if you're walking on the side of the road, right,
Mm-hmm.
and someone was like, "Oh, I need a new podcast to watch, and I'm wanting to get into something new," and you were to recommend our podcast, and they asked you like, "Okay, what kind of podcast is it?" What would you say?
I would hope that it kind of covers a little bit of everything. Humor, obviously the sponsor 5K as well. Certain guests I think are going to bring diversity to it as well. So I think just kind of a little bit of everything.
That's fair. Yeah. So speaking of our sponsor, so as you can see, I don't know if the camera can see, but we're wearing some pieces from 5K Enterprise, which is founded by their owner, Nigel Warden. We'll have the link for 5K in the description if you guys want to check out the pieces. They have a lot of stuff depending on what kind of things you wear. Like right now, I'm wearing the wash tee or the ones. Bree is wearing the ones tracksuit.
Tracksuit, so comfy.
Comfy matching colorways, some interesting colorways nonetheless. And I would say if you're the kind of person, depending on what kind of things you're looking to wear, they definitely have something for you. Would you explain it as like a specific like style, or do you think like they kind of cater towards?
I think they definitely do have a very like signature style. But I think it's a certain style that like they work towards to be able to target everyone too at the same time.
Right.
Like I feel like when you see their clothes, you like know that that's 5K. It's like their signature look.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like anyone can find something in the line that they like
In
too,
the
which I
line.
think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I know a wide range of people that wear their clothing. It's different age demographics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know they're working on some special lines coming out for specific things, such as like sports and stuff like that. So if you're into anything athletic wear, like if you shop at H&M, Zara, you name it, whatever store you think of, their clothes probably would resemble similar pieces while maintaining their own kind of unique look. So again, we'll have the link in the description below. 5K Enterprise, you go check him out and see if there's something that you like. And yeah, so I mean, moving forward, definitely love the tracksuit you got on there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tracksuits, winter, summer, what is an article of clothing that you absolutely cannot live without? Like if you had one option of wearing something, what would you pick?
I would honestly say sweatpants.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're so comfy. Walmart sweatpants.
Walmart.
Extra large men's Walmart sweatpants.
So is it comfy because it's from Walmart, or is it because it's extra large men's?
Probably extra large men's, to be honest.
Okay. And do you feel as if there's a situation where when you're wearing like a different gender's clothing,
Mm-hmm.
right? At what point does it become acceptable versus like ludicrous and whatever you want to say, you can say. But I'm just saying,
Okay.
if so, you go into Walmart, right?
Mm.
And you go to the men's section, and you get the extra large pants
Yeah.
for men's. Okay.
Mm.
Nobody looks at you weird
Because
going
they
to
might
that
think I'm
section.
buying them for you.
Right. However, if a gentleman goes in and say, you know, there's some gentlemen that like wearing tight fitted,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Sweatpants, yeah.
Or tight fitted, whatever.
Okay.
At what point do you think I shouldn't say do you think it's okay, or at what point do you think society or someone shopping around doesn't bat an eye at a guy going into the opposite genders?
I mean, I never thought of it that way. The reason I like men's sweatpants is because my legs are a lot bigger than what the regular female sweatpants would be baggy on. So I'm sure if I went like extra large women's,
Right.
it's just more for the fit, in my opinion.
Right.
So I feel like if a guy liked a more slim
Right.
sweatpant,
It's
he could
fine.
head on
So-
over to the ladies section.
So I'll tell you a story. So when I used to work at Canada's Wonderland,
Mhm.
shameless plug. This was the year 2015, and I was a team leader.
Mm.
I think I was 19. Yeah, I was 19. Had to.
You're really aging yourself right now.
Nobody knows how old I am. I was 19, and yeah. So basically, they had offered these polo shirts, and they were shirts that had gender associated with them. So there was a male version of the shirt and a female version of the shirt. Okay. Back then, I wasn't working out in the gym. You know, I was probably like 155 pounds soaking wet, and I wouldn't say I was subconscious. It's interesting you say about, you know, noticing that certain features of your body are a bit bigger than society standard. Let's just say I had a bird chest, okay?
What does that mean?
A bird chest?
Yeah.
You don't know what that means?
No.
So a bird chest is like when you don't have any pecs. Like it's just like imagine if, yeah, I won't say that. But so you don't have any pecs, you don't have any muscle in your upper area. So I didn't have that, right?
So was it like why a bird though? Like don't birds have like pronounced chests?
It's just a saying. If you I can Google it right now if you'd like.
Okay.
Why is it called a bird chest?
Okay.
Why is it called a bird chest?
Because I'm thinking of a robin. Have you ever seen a robin? They
Robin.
have a very like puffed out chest.
Mm.
So that's what I was thinking.
No results because there's no Wi-Fi. Anyways, it's just a saying. I'm sure we could figure it out. Like I'm sure there's a reason why they call it that.
Okay, sorry to interrupt your story.
It's fine.
Keep going. Yeah.
So it's fine. So when I got promoted, I went to go pick up my shirt, and at this time, I was very into like wearing my clothes form fitting, right?
I've seen videos. Yeah.
Yes, and fitting to my body, right? Like I was 155 pounds. I'm not gonna wear a large T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like I would look like Soldier Boy in 2007. Doesn't make sense, right? So I asked for the smallest size, and it was a small. And would you believe that it was like an oversized T-shirt? So.
And it was men's?
It was men's.
Okay.
So I did what any logical bird-chested male would do.
19-year-old male, yeah.
19-year-old male. I went and got a woman's medium.
Did anyone say anything
and
about
I
that?
got ridiculed for it. It was me and this other guy. His name is Ronnie. Ronnie, if you ever see this somehow, I don't know how you would, but if you do, you know, shout out to the female medium, because the way that people knew was the buttons on the female one were the opposite way.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe because is it because of cleavage? I'm not sure.
Sure, it would still show the same amount of cleavage, but
is there a reason?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't.
I didn't create buttons.
Do you? I'm assuming you never wore a women's polo.
Also, the zipper's on a different side too, if you've noticed, on male and female stuff.
I've never worn.
Okay.
Pants,
Well, you wore a
women's
female
pants.
shirt, so.
But
not on pants, on a sweater. Okay.
Okay, that bar none.
Yeah.
Thank you for that tidbit. I appreciate it. So, so the buttons were opposite orientation, and there was 5 opposed to 3. So everybody.
That's for cleavage.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So everybody knew because it's like I was wearing a polo with like 5 buttons going just like straight down, right? So I guess that's why I asked the question: is there scenarios where like it makes sense for someone to wear the opposite gender clothing? Do we get into the situation of it being like cross-dressing, or like what would you say?
Okay, I understand the question a bit more now. I feel like nowadays anything goes. And with that being a thing where people can decide how they want to dress, I think that's something that no one would bat an eye at anymore. Back then, that makes sense. You got ridiculed for it though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I feel like that's normal now.
To wear the
More
opposite
normal.
gender's clothing.
Yeah, or like guys wearing like more like tight fitting shirts, or like crop tops for men is like a huge thing last year, right?
Sorry? I didn't hear you.
Crop tops for men?
For men.
Yeah.
They have those?
I mean, I think they like cut them.
So the store doesn't make them?
But they could. They've started selling. I'm pretty sure there's like a fitness clothing brand that sells it.
Fitness clothing brand.
Like crop t-shirts for guys.
T-shirts for guys.
I can get you one if you'd like.
No, thanks. It's fine. My days of wearing women's clothing have come to an end. So that makes sense. So I mean, I guess. So speaking of like crop top stuff like that, I was watching a workout. It was at like a Golden State Warriors practice or whatever, Stephen Curry, and he had like it was like a training. I don't know if I should call it a training bra. I don't remember specifically what it was called, but
he was wearing it.
Yeah, but it's not like, it's like a performance one. So it's like one that tracks like, it's like, it looks like a training bra, but it tracks like your heart rate. It tracks like, you know, different metrics for performance.
Yeah.
To give him an advantage, or whoever's wearing it, to figure out, you know, during the workout, how many like metrics are they hitting? Are they burning a certain amount of calories, or is their heart rate spiking at certain areas? So, I mean, I feel like if it's unconventional, I feel like a lot of people think, oh, well, that's a sports bra, when they don't know that it's actually a piece.
Like,
that
I
just
probably
looks
wouldn't
like,
know that that's what it was meant for.
Someone doesn't watch sports wouldn't know. So in the realm of sports, so I guess growing up, did you play any sports? Is there anything that
I played basketball a bit in high school.
Okay. What position? Why are you laughing?
Because point guard.
Point guard?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your fondest memory playing basketball?
Honestly, I fought a lot.
You fought?
Yeah.
Should have been in UFC, MMA.
You never know what the future holds.
No, I think they'd beat your ass.
Why?
In MMA, they'd probably beat your ass.
Okay.
I can't see you fighting.
Yeah, because you've never seen me that angry before.
So so perfect. So what in a basketball competition made you so angry?
Oh, I would like fight every game. Like literally every game.
No, I understand that. I was saying is, what within those games that you played made you so angry that you would fight?
People were aggressive, so I would be aggressive back, and then they would just like, I don't know.
How many times have you fouled out of the game?
It was like a common thing.
Fouling out?
Yeah.
What age did you stop playing basketball?
Grade, I think I played for 3 years. So 9, 10, 11.
Oh, wow. Think you can beat me 1-on-1?
I haven't played in a very long time, so no.
That is the only reason why.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Anything's possible. The ball's around. Now, before, because I know you probably have some stuff you want to pick my brain on. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on women and men's professional athletics. So we're talking about NBA, WNBA. Are you, I guess first let me ask a question. Are you aware of like the pay discrepancy between?
No.
Okay, so basically, this is a huge thing in the sports like world, right? Where women, professional athletes, like cross sports, basketball, albeit soccer, and men's professional sports, basketball, soccer, football. I don't think there's a women's equivalent yet, but you get the point. Across various sports where there's both gender equivalents, women are getting paid substantially less.
Like how much less?
So, I mean, I think the average salary, if I'm not mistaken, and don't attack me in the comments, because I'm not up to speed. But I think last time I was hearing some of the statistics, I wish I had them on me, was like men's NBA basketball is like somewhere in like 900,000 to like 1 to 2 million and higher for average like entry level salaries, like
Mm-hmm.
talking about rookie deals and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm pretty sure they're even higher now. And WNBA, like highest paid players are getting like 200, 250K, to the point where a lot of the WNBA players have two jobs, meaning they play the WNBA season and then they go play for another team in like Europe.
Wow.
So like they're playing like 10 to 11 months
They don't
year
have
round.
like an off season kind of thing.
Not really. I mean, they do. They just go play for another team.
Yeah. So
right?
that's not an off season.
So it's not an off season technically, right,
Mm.
for them. So I guess we can make it broader, not just sports. Do you think in certain professions a pay discrepancy like that should exist?
I think in that scenario, no, because it's not like they're playing against men. They're playing against people who are at their same level. So I feel like they should be getting paid equally. Whereas there are certain jobs where like men can just perform better than women.
So before you continue, a lot of the reasoning why, and I know you're not really familiar, so I know you're probably trying lightly, but a lot of the reason why the WNBA and the NBA discrepancy exists is because the NBA generates a lot more, like copious amounts more revenue than the WNBA.
But that doesn't mean that they perform better.
No, it's not about them.
Yeah.
So I guess there's two ways you can look at it. Performing better is, you can look at it as like what their physical abilities can do, right? Because yes, women against women versus men against men, like the competition level, women are playing at the highest level of their, men are playing at the highest level of their. However, when it comes to sports and like professional teams, a lot of the money that they get is from brand endorsements, TV ads, revenue from the arena. So it's a lot predicated on like consumer. So the challenge and what's happening, especially with the WNBA, is their consumer base and following is not nearly as high as the NBA.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, from my knowledge, is what's actually influencing how much they get paid. Also, the NBA donates a specific amount of money per year. I think it's 10 million or something like that to the WNBA, so they don't go under, so they can actually make money. So I think a lot of people are saying like, okay, well, all these athletes are complaining, with rightfully so. If you're at the best of your craft, you're going to want to be paid the most possible.
Especially seeing how much like the people in the NBA make too, right?
Yeah, right? But I mean, can't really count someone else's pockets, you know? So
True.
I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know if...
Yeah, I feel like I don't really know enough about it, but I definitely don't think that it's fair at all. But it makes sense why.
Is life fair?
Guess not.
Guess not.
Okay, so I saw a video of this guy who wanted to see if he could live off of Costco hot dogs.
Okay.
So for a month straight, if he wanted to go for breakfast, he went and got a Costco hot dog, lunch, dinner, 30 days straight. Okay. Do you think that's something you could do?
100%.
You wouldn't get sick?
No. Listen, the art of eating a glizzy, comes down to one thing. It's mind over matter.
Okay, but like going and having like one a week or whatever, it's like a treat. You look forward to it. You really think...
Hey, yo, pause.
You really think like after the first week, you would wake up on the 8th day for breakfast and you're like, I'm stoked to go and munch that hot dog right now.
No. Well, yeah, obviously. Like, I feel like if you eat anything of too much in excess, like you're gonna hate it, or your body is gonna want to reject it at some point.
Not pickles.
But are we talking food or a snack? And
pickles are a food.
Okay, no, I know that, but I mean, like, sorry, a meal. Like a hot dog is a meal that could have pickles on it. Then the next day you can go have a hot dog without pickles. Now, if you ask me, do you think there's people out there that probably eat pickles every day? Probably.
So would you switch up
What do you mean?
your
Like,
dog?
yeah. Maybe on the first day I'd have it dry. Straight bread and meat.
I
Pause.
doubt you would do that.
I mean, okay, obviously I'm not going to eat a dry hot dog, but if,
I say we do it on the next podcast.
if the opportunity came to me to have a hot dog with relish on it, or a dry hot dog, best believe I'm having it dry.
You don't like relish?
I hate relish.
Why?
It's nasty. And you obviously would like it because you like pickles. And relish is just diced up pickles.
There's more to it.
What else is in relish?
It's sweet. It doesn't. Do you eat relish and say, that's a good mashed up pickle?
I don't eat relish and say, that's good regardless. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. Now, what other thing can you associate it to of a form of a food that I like that is like in a different state? So like jalapenos. I don't know. Is there another state for
I would say
jalapenos?
Potatoes. You could eat potatoes breakfast, lunch, and dinner too.
Yeah, you could.
You could mash potatoes, baked potatoes,
scalloped
potatoes,
deep fried,
potato salad.
Thoughts on potato salad? You don't
pass,
like it?
Pass.
Yeah, I don't know if potato.
I feel like it needs to be warm, and when it's cold, it weirds me out.
Yeah, no, I understand. Because potato salad is mad sus sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm in the mood for it, and then other times I'm like, I could steer clear.
Costco potato salad's pretty good.
So yeah, on the next one, I will eat a dry raw hot dog.
I say you do 7.
7 hot dogs in
Dry.
one episode?
Yeah.
Dry hot dogs in one episode.
Yeah. 1 for each day of the week. Or 4. 1 for each week of the month. This guy had...
4 is easy. He had... You
I
said...
was trying to do math, but...
No.
He did breakfast, lunch, dinner for 30 days straight.
Are you sure? I think it was a week.
No, and he lost weight.
Yeah, you went from like 230 to 225. I watched the video.
I don't think it was a week.
I think it was a week.
I'll find it.
Well, I mean, do you have Wi-Fi down here?
No, later.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't know. A month is kind of excessive.
Okay. On the topic of food, did you ever have like a food in your childhood that like ruined it for you to the point where you can't eat it now?
Yeah.
What?
Smart Food popcorn. The black bag, that is so gross.
We eat that all the time. The one upstairs?
I don't eat it. You do. Smart Food, the black bag with the corn on the front, the logo.
Don't they all taste the same?
No, the Smart Food one specifically has white cheddar on it. I believe.
I love white cheddar popcorn,
bro. So that is something that I had as a kid, like
excessively.
Yeah, like every day. And I can't once someone opens the bag, oh.
Really?
The stench is unmatched for me.
Okay. Was there anything that you were like forced to eat as a kid? Like for dinner, when your parents are like, you can't leave the table until you finish.
Well, I couldn't leave the table until you finish your food regardless. So, but like forced? Okay, so I remember, if you see this, sorry, but I'm going to expose. I remember one time my parents made tilapia. You ever had tilapia? It's a kind of fish.
Yeah, a white fish.
It's a white fish, and it's mad
fishy.
I guess that's the only way I can explain it. I despise that so
How
bad.
is it made? Because I feel like
it wasn't fried.
In the oven, maybe?
I think it was in the oven. So it was like...
I feel like that really holds on to the fishy flavor if it's in the oven.
Yeah, it was in the oven. So I didn't like that. I didn't like really eating fish, especially when I was younger, because I'd have to ask my dad to take the bones out of it.
Yeah, honestly, if I find a bone in like my salmon, game over. I won't finish it. It just grosses me out. Yeah. On
the topic of food, what else grosses you out?
Liver?
Liver.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had liver.
It is the smell of it. Still to this day, will make me gag. I remember it's one of my dad's favorite dishes to cook. and he would. That's what was in the beef Wellington.
Liver.
Yeah. Like mashed up, and he tried hiding it. I could smell it when I was eating it. I was like, "What's in here?" And he was like, "What is it? Pate?"
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's
That or split pea soup.
split pea soup. What is that? What is even that?
It's like peas and like ham inside of a soup. It's really weird. But I don't know why that was like one that I just didn't like the taste of it. And I stayed at the dinner table all night. Like, and I'm not really a picky eater. Like, I would kind of eat anything.
Right.
But that was the only thing that I didn't want to eat. And I stayed there for,
Split pea
pretty sure I fell
soup.
asleep at the dinner table.
Really?
It has like a very like
Well, I'm
hammy
just-
taste. I guess you wouldn't.
I don't
It's
eat ham. I'm
yeah.
just thinking of things that don't belong in certain dishes. Like
Like
ham.
peas? Oh.
Well, peas kind of.
Well, it's like cubes of ham.
I guess maybe just because I don't eat it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, I eat it and I still wouldn't eat it. So,
right.
okay. A lot of mine are about food. I think I was hungry when I made this. Weirdest food combination that you feel like everyone should try at least once in their life.
Weirdest food combination.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Chocolate cake and mustard.
Chocolate cake and mustard?
Don't knock it till you try it. It's really good.
That sounds so deranged.
It's really good. Or pickles with melted marshmallows. Or pickles dipped in melted chocolate.
Pickles are dipped in melted chocolate doesn't sound bad.
It was really good. The melted chocolate or the melted marshmallows was really good as well.
Food that combinations that are forbidden. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing I've ever had. I've had peanut butter and Nutella with cornflakes in the middle
Like in a bread?
in a sandwich.
Okay. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was also like all I had at the time.
That's really sad.
No, I was just lazy. It was like when I first moved here. I was just lazy to go grocery shopping, so I whipped up a sandwich.
Would you eat it again?
If that was the only thing I had, yeah.
Okay.
It tastes good, but it's just like a lot of sugar.
Nutella's a lot.
Yeah.
Was it like the frosted cornflakes?
Yes.
That would be really sweet.
Yeah.
You know, it would probably be good in that.
What?
Pickles.
Ew.
Listen, I've never had pickles in anything that I didn't like. Like I would put pickles on a cake and love it.
That's so cap. I don't believe you one bit.
We have cake upstairs.
So if
Yeah. Yep.
next,
Yep. You can even pick what kind of cake it is.
you don't even know what I'm gonna say.
That I ate a cake with pickles on it.
I get a slice of cake. You have it with pickles on it,
Okay.
and finish it.
Okay.
And I'll eat 2 dry glizzy dogs. We'll see who finishes
We
it
said
first.
4.
I'm not gonna eat 4 in one episode.
Why?
No, that's not equivalent. I'll eat 2.
Have you ever seen how many hot dogs like the competitors eat? Like the food eating
Do I look
contest?
like a foodie competitor?
Well, you're kind of like making it sound like you are.
I'm
you
not.
could eat
no.
all these glizzies.
The only competition that I will do is a wing competition.
Like a spicy wing?
I've done that before. I do it again. I wax that. I should insert the video proof. I ate. So I went to the Pint. It's a restaurant here in Edmonton. Would you call it a restaurant? Sports bar? Sports bar?
Yeah,
I would say sports bar, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had this wing challenge for, what was the flavor again?
Was it Insanity?
No, Insanity is a dry one.
Oh.
It starts with a O. Off the Hook.
Mm.
That was should have been my first inkling. So it's called Off the Hook, and it's a wet.
I didn't know it was wet. I thought it was a dry one.
Insanity is a dry one.
Yeah.
That's the one that had you coughing like Idris Elba.
I was not coughing like
Yeah.
anything.
Have you seen that clip of Idris Elba when he's on Hot Ones and he's coughing?
Oh yeah, I think I've seen the meme of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So And that's a show I want to go on one day. Sean, if you see this from Hot Ones, please have me on. But no. So Off the Hook, and it's I don't even know what's in it, but it's one of those where it's so spicy and like wet that if you touch your eyes, like it's game over. So the challenge was 10 wings in under 10 minutes. Guess how fast I did that? Because I wasn't playing around.
How fast?
I just say yes.
I feel like you could go one of two ways. You could either go and like take your time with it.
Mistake.
You did take your time with it?
No, I'm saying that's a mistake.
Okay.
I did not take my time.
Or you would be so scared of actually tasting the flavor that you went really fast. And I think that's probably the road you went down.
3 minutes. That's not even a wing per minute.
So did you feel the heat in those 3 minutes, or did you just like...
I felt it after the second wing because I took a pause. I was like, oh, no.
And that's what made you... And that's what made you
I just
do
kept
it in
going.
3 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, and then after it was like, my mouth was on fire. The top of my stomach line was like hot. But the prize was free wing. They finessed me though because they had said free wings for a year, but they didn't specify that it was £1 on the Wing Wednesday, like the special.
Because wasn't the special like $5?
Yeah, so they get
So hey, here's $5.
Here's $5.
And it was what, in September?
For 52 weeks. But yeah, they did it in the summer, I think.
I mean, that's
August.
smart advertising on their end.
Right. So what is that? 4 months remaining. Let's call it 16 weeks, maybe 20 weeks. Round it up.
Yeah.
Because there are 4 or 5 months remaining. 20 weeks.
Times $5.
$100. Saving. But I would do it for $100. I did get finesse. But if someone came up to me and was like, yo, eat these wings. Right?
Yeah.
Under 10 minutes for $100. I'd do it.
I know. I think you'd do it just for the bragging rights.
Nah, not that hot again.
Yeah, you would. So just wait. I want to add on to the 4 hot dogs. I want to make 10 really spicy wings.
Okay.
For you.
Okay.
And you can't know what's on them.
Okay.
Just know that it's gonna burn.
And what's the stakes?
Bragging rights.
Who does things for bragging rights anymore anyways? Not me. I'm not doing that. Put something on it.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you.
Put something on it and we'll consider. My people will talk to your people.
Okay.
I'm about to kill myself over no bragging rights. I'll just say I can do it.
I don't think you can because I already have ideas of what I'm going to use.
That's fine. You can think whatever you want. But unless you come to me with a fair offer, I'm not doing it.
Okay. Noted. Speaking of killing yourself, have you ever had a very close encounter in the gym where you thought this was it?
In the gym?
Yeah, this is how you go. Really?
No. Have you?
Yeah. So this is when I first started going to the gym, okay? The gym that I went to had a ladies only section, which I would beeline it the second I would get there. I was too scared to go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one in the ladies only section. And I looked up on Google good workouts because I didn't know what I was doing, right?
Right.
First day was chest. I was like, okay, sure. Get on the bench press, lift the bar up.
Yep.
It falls onto me. Just the bar.
Wow.
45, okay?
Wow.
I couldn't move it. Babe, it's not funny.
Sorry.
I couldn't move it off of me. I tried. It was too heavy. The bar was too heavy for me to move. I'm looking around. There's no one there. Make eye contact with the camera. I was cool. And then I ended up tipping it and then rolling it off of me.
Yep.
And then I left and didn't go back for a very long time.
So you put 45 on each side?
No, it was just the bar.
Oh, the bar only.
The bar is 45.
Oh.
I was very weak back then. This was my first time in the gym.
So I guess shifting gears, I just want to get, so I don't think everybody knows, but you do eyelashes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's what is aesthetics, or what is it again? What would you call it?
Yeah, I guess.
Aesthetics.
Yeah.
Isn't there a
Beauty.
name for it? Esthetician?
Yeah, that's like a broad category.
Okay, so
Be
what would
more
you,
like face. I would just say like the beauty industry.
beauty industry?
Yeah.
So what got you into that?
Honestly, my dad sent me a course and he was like, I think you would like this. So this was back in maybe like 5 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
when the course just came to Edmonton. So now I feel like there's lash artists all over the place. There's so
Right.
many of them in Edmonton, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like none here. This was like the first time the course was being offered in Edmonton. So I looked into it and it was like the weekend after my dad sent it to me. So I took it and that was it.
Right. And how long have you been doing it for now?
So I did it for I think 2 years after I got my certification. And then I took a break for a few years and then I've been doing it now for like a few months. 6 months.
6 months. Okay. What's the hardest part about being a lash tech? Like, what would you say for yourself is the most?
I think for myself, I have a specific way that I like to do lashes. I think there's a certain way that like my style looks best when it comes to like the certain kind of lash that you can do. But that's
Right.
not always what the client's looking for. So I think putting what I think would look best aside and like really understanding what they're wanting to make sure that they get what they like at the end
What
of
they
it.
like. Okay. And if someone was just graduated from lash school
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you call it, what would be the number one advice you would give to them?
So this is someone who already graduated their school?
Yeah, someone that's licensed and wants to start practicing,
So I'll
or
take it one step before that and say, like, really do your research on what school you go to. I think the place that I took, because it was so new, like, there was a lot that was missed that I didn't learn until later.
Mhm.
But then after you graduate, I think, like, making sure that you invest in your tools, um, really practice a lot too, like friends, family, whatever the case may be, and just
Mhm.
make sure that you're constantly, like, keeping up your skill,
Mhm.
even if you don't have, like, a constant clientele right off the bat.
Right. And what kind of tools are you working with? Like, what kind of?
Like the tweezers are really important. Pretty much any course that you'll take, they'll give you like a starter kit, but they're not going to give like high quality instruments for you. The glue is really important too. There's a lot of glue that can like irritate people's eyes or like the retention might not be the greatest. So really like doing your research and like finding out something that will work with a wide range of people, like something that's hypoallergenic when it comes to the glue. Really investing in your tweezers. Like there's a lot of cheap ones out there
Right.
that won't be able to like isolate properly or like
Right.
do their job as well as they should.
Right.
And that'll really affect like your work and stuff like that too.
I see. I see. And so saying like I didn't even realize that all that goes into like taking a course, getting a certificate, and all research and stuff. So would you say that you have the ability now, doing it for a couple of months in a row now, and then having the experience a couple of years ago? Do you think you could instruct someone off the street on how to do lashes? What, like with the client right there? So say it's a situation where you couldn't do it yourself and you had to tell them, hey, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do. Do you think you can do that?
So I thought yes, up until I tried teaching you. And then I realized that like when you're trying to teach someone something who doesn't know anything about it, it's a lot harder than you think it is, because the basic knowledge that I have, I need to realize that you have none of that. So I need to teach you from the beginning. But when it's something that I can do myself with my eyes closed, it's very hard to like realize that and like apply that when it comes to like showing someone how to do it.
Right.
So I think like if I were to create like a certain course or like really like sit down and like write down like how I would go about coaching someone, I think I could.
Right.
But I really do think not everyone who has perfected their craft could be good at coaching someone to be the same. Because I think teaching is a lot different than doing it yourself.
You're doing it yourself. That's right. Teaching requires a lot of patience, so It's like kind of like bringing someone like from the ground up and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, and like the way that you explain it and stuff, there's certain, when I was explaining to you, like to isolate, like you've never heard that before. You wouldn't
Right.
know what you're even isolating, right?
Right.
So it's like realizing that the terminology that you're going to use, like that it's like a different language to them.
Oh yeah, you want to tell me about terminology?
I mean, you know now.
Yeah.
Mega volumes.
Mega volume, hybrid, classic.
Your favorite.
Classic? Yeah, something like that. So I heard I was somehow got on Eyelash TikTok.
Did you actually?
Unfortunately, yes. Wonder why.
Love that. Was this after I tried teaching you?
Yes.
Okay.
The phone was in the room, I was listening.
I love that.
I don't. But I came across something called a foreign fill.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
So a foreign fill is essentially, so say you had your lashes done by someone else.
I'm sorry?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not you specifically, but like someone
like
had.
Someone had?
Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
had their lashes done by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Their lash tech was busy, or
Okay.
they just didn't want to go to them.
So it's like cheating on your barber.
It is like cheating on your barber.
Mm.
However, there's certain circumstances where maybe it's not cheating. Like
Okay.
Arthur is your barber's name?
Arthur is my barber, yeah.
Yeah. If he were to go on vacation, you wouldn't just not get your hair cut.
I would not get my hair cut.
What if he went for 6 months?
I would not get my hair cut.
Are you being serious? Okay. Lashes are a totally different story though. Because you can't just be walking around with one straggly lash holding on for dear life,
That's
you
fair.
know? So if your lash artist is sick,
Mm-hmm.
injured, away, or maybe you just want to find someone else,
Right.
whatever the case is, that would be a different artist doing work over top of someone else's work
Right.
would be considered a foreign fill.
Okay.
Not a lot of artists do that.
And is that like, that's like forbidden?
I mean, it really depends on the lash tech. I've turned people away from foreign fills before just because it wasn't work that I was comfortable putting mine on top of, if that makes sense.
Right.
If anything goes wrong, or if they were to take their lashes off and they were damaged or whatever the case is, you were the last person to touch their lashes, so it could come back on you.
Right.
And sometimes that's not something that you're wanting your name to be attached to, when it's essentially sharing half with someone else too, when you don't know that artist.
Right.
Right, with like Sarah, I'll do like foreign fills for her when she's like on vacation or whatever.
Right.
Because I know her work. Her work is literally flawless. I've never had an issue with any one of her foreign fills. But there's certain people you just don't know their work. You don't know if their attention to detail's proper.
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, the
cleaning.
hygiene is kind of more on the client.
No, but I mean like cleaning, something, because I'm trying to relate it to like when I get my hair cut, like obviously when I come in, the barber's
Sterilizing tools
is always
and,
sanitized and sterilized, right? So I would imagine the same probably.
Oh, 100%,
goes
yeah.
for lashes,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily see that on your client in a foreign fill, but that could definitely, like, if they don't have sanitized tools, that could mean that like there's like clumps of lashes stuck together. So when like a fan falls out, there's like multiple of their natural lashes on there. Yeah. And it can be very painful. And yeah, it's just not, it's not something that you want your name attached to if it's not the greatest. However, if you are someone who is experienced and you're comfortable dealing with like whatever scenario might come with your client, you could open up your clientele quite a bit too, because not a lot of like artists will take foreign fills.
So would you ever travel to do lashes? Like, you know, you have these celebrity barbers that go and travel, get their flight paid for, they get all that. Would you ever do that if someone like notable was like came across your eyelash page and was like?
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. I think one of the thing, like there are some like mobile lash techs who do it like within Edmonton, so they'll come and they'll do it in your home,
in your house.
The only thing is like humidity is a huge thing when it comes to like the retention of the glue. I've worked in a very like humid room before, and you try to place the lash on and the glue doesn't even stick. So you have to be very in control of like the humidity. The lighting is very important too. So if you don't have all those factors that can essentially control the room that you're in, going to someone else's place can really get in the way of that. Whereas like when you're in your own salon, you have a humidifier, you have a proper light, you have a proper bed, they're laying properly, you have
Right.
like a chair that's adjusted to the right height for you to be able to be kind of like leaned over for the whole time. So I think when you start traveling, whether it's just locally or like hop on a plane and go somewhere else, I think that you're not in control as much as you would be if someone were to
Right.
come and see you.
Speaking of hopping on a plane and not being in control, are
Oh, no.
you one of those people that are scared of flights? What's your thought on flying?
I would say I used to be scared of flights due to turbulence. That was something that like I don't like roller coasters. I don't like the feeling of like your stomach coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you explained to me once that like turbulence is really
Very minor.
it's really nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm scared of flights for like safety wise, but my ears get really bad and they like pop and sometimes they'll stay popped or like plugged for like days after I arrive wherever I'm
Right.
going.
Have you
So
ever tried the Valsalva maneuver?
is that where you pop your own ears?
Or like continuous
Yeah.
swallowing?
I've tried swallowing. I've tried chewing copious amounts of gum. I actually recently, I think in the summer, bought these like little twist-in things. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, I do.
They like, I thought they would stop your ears from popping. They did the opposite. They made them pop the entire time.
Right.
But it allowed them to continuously pop, which I think kind of helped. But it's still pretty painful.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm scared of when I fly.
The only thing I could tell you from like aviation perspective is the only time that because are you scared of your eardrum rupturing? Is that why?
Yes, because it almost did.
And that was on the way down, right?
That was when I was skydiving.
Oh, okay, well, bro.
But
yeah, so
but that damaged my eardrums.
No, definitely.
Permanently.
Yes, because the eardrum, the chance of it damaging will happen on the descent.
Okay.
And especially depending on how rapid the descent is. So obviously, skydiving, right, is like the fastest descent, or should be, out of the two if you're in a plane, right? I mean, the only time that you be in a really fast descent is like if you are accidentally in a spin, which is possible to recover from.
To not recover from?
To recover from is possible.
Okay.
It's like you have the aircraft, right? And then when it stalls, if it's in too much of a nose up attitude, which means the nose is literally up, stuck up. Think of it as someone stuck up, right? Nose
like
up
bad
attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once it stalls, the plane is gonna capsize and then go down. And as it's going down, it's gonna keep spinning, and the PIC, pilot in command, they would have to put an input on the rudder to counteract the spin, get you out of the spin, and then full power to level off. And so it's possible. I know how to do it.
I don't want to think about that.
Have I ever done it yet? No, but I know the theory behind it.
Okay.
So that's the only time, getting sidetracked, sorry, but that's the only time you'd be rapidly descending. So hopefully in your future flights.
So what does that have to do with my ears, though?
I don't know. I just got sidetracked. I was just talking about how fast you'd be going down to the earth. Like skydiving would make sense.
But it's happened before. Like I think after. I mean, I haven't been on a lot of flights before I went skydiving, but after I think I have been on quite a few. I find if it's on a smaller plane, I think the pressure is
pressurized aircraft. Yep.
And that really hurts my ears. I remember I went to Saskatoon. And for like a day and a half, I couldn't hear anything. Like people were talking to me, and I
just couldn't hear. So would you ever go on a plane with me?
With you flying?
Yeah.
On condition. Co-pilot.
Well, yeah, you'd be sitting.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be sitting beside you?
Yeah.
Okay. Could I talk on the PA system?
Yeah.
Really?
To me.
Oh.
I mean, there's two. Like, there's the.
Oh
there's
yeah,
it's
not going to be a commercial flight, right?
You would press it, and we can hear each other. Or sorry, you wouldn't press it. Sorry, when you're connected in the cockpit, we can hear each other through the radio. And once you press the button, that's where you're broadcasting the radio signal to whatever. Like so for Parkland, my flight school, it's a mandatory frequency. So meaning there's no tower, there's no
Okay.
tower, right? Something called ATC. We don't have that. So mandatory frequency means that like every aircraft that's in that, or majority of the aircrafts that are in that vicinity, all have two-way radios. So you're really just talking to what's called the traffic. So anytime I'd make a radio call.
So it's like only to other planes that are in
exactly.
the air.
So it'd be a Parkland traffic. This is Cessna, Golf, Echo, Foxtrot, Juliet.
Imagine if you could talk to other people in traffic with vehicles, like cars.
Oh, what would you say to someone?
Depends who it is.
You're a terrible driver.
I would say,
step on the gas.
I'm disappointed in you. And then hang up.
So speaking of driving, we'll get off the topic of flying for a bit. Speaking of driving, what is the thing that happens on the road the most that pisses you off the most?
I have a few. One of them was actually going to be one of my topics. LED headlights. And I know you have them, so I'm sorry. But when they come behind me, I can't see anything.
Could I tell you that whenever I have them, yes, I have HID headlights. LED, HID. I understand what you're saying, same thing. Tomato, tomato. But when I'm behind someone and I'm close,
you turn them down, but they're still very obnoxiously bright.
No, I turn them down to the regular lights.
But those ones are still really bright.
Oh, well. Pick your poison.
So, like, for example, someone with a big truck, they come and they're like so close, and it's literally in like all three of your mirrors.
Well, did you know what you could do on the top mirror?
Yeah.
And you just deflect it?
Yeah. So I also saw this video of someone who they turned their mirror so that the lights actually were shining back at that person, and they switched lanes. The person behind them switched lanes because you can like blind them back if you like do the angle properly.
Yeah.
So I might try that next. Another thing that bothers me is people who are like, I feel like I've done this before, but are like maybe trying to find a location or something. And they're not paying attention to that there's like people behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like slowing down, maybe stopping in the middle of the road, like just causing traffic. No reason. Yeah.
Mine, I would say, I have a plethora. I have so many.
Oh, I know.
I wouldn't even be able to start anywhere. But I'm going to start here. I dislike and despise when there are people on the highway and they're in the left lane and they're going either the speed limit or slightly below the speed limit. Slightly below the speed limit for sure.
Yeah, that should be illegal. Actually, I think it is illegal.
Go in the right lane, go in the center lane, especially when it's like a quad lane, sync lane, like 5-lane, 4-lane highway. And they're in the left lane. The left lane is for passing.
Okay, so here's my thing. Because I feel like we've done a few road trips together. How do you feel about people who ride like the whole trip in the left lane, as long as they're going fast enough? Does that bother you? Because that bothers some people.
If you're in the left lane and you're going faster than me and I'm behind you, there's no problem. If you're in the left lane, weather permitting, and you're going fast, like an appropriate speed over there, let's use Highway 2 for an example. The speed limit is 110. If you're in the left lane going anywhere between 130 and 140, that's acceptable. Sometimes you have people that are like, you know, Michael Schumacher. He's a NASCAR.
Okay.
Or me sometimes, depending on the day, that are going 150 to get back to your destination.
Yeah.
But not consistently, like just trying to catch past traffic. If you notice, you're already going 140 or 135, whatever your comfort zone is, and you have someone that's approaching faster in your rearview mirror, just move over. I feel like a lot of people have this pride thing when they're on the road where they don't want to move over.
Especially in the left lane on a highway. I feel like remember that one guy who was going so slow and then he like flipped everyone off that tried passing him?
With his kid in the back?
It's definitely a pride thing.
Yeah.
And I think some people either just don't know the rules of the road, but there's many signs along the way that say
pride is the devil. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got a hold on me. Sorry.
Would you like to finish that?
Pride is the devil. It's R.I.P. Sorry.
Okay.
Listen, when it's J. Cole, it's there's no rules.
I thought that was Kanye.
No, it's Pride is the Devil by J. Cole. I could name. Yeah, we'll lay that for another episode.
Okay.
Play a song and name it. Do you have the ability from your favorite artist?
Nope.
Really? Not even Zach Bryan?
Ooh.
Take me down the road that's a little bit windy.
I don't know if I would be able to do.
To a place where they still cook sugar in the iced tea.
Okay. I don't know if I could do titles. I think for Russ's old music, I could.
Russ. So that's another time when we went to Calgary. So would you ever, what is the furthest you would drive in one day and drive back? Where a night trip, like this is the longest I would go, knowing I have to go back the same night.
Meaning that like I have work the next morning.
Work the next morning.
Yes. I mean, honestly, as far as I could go.
Okay. So meaning as far as the car will take you?
No,
as far as logically possible.
No, as far as, so say there's like concerts an hour. We have 14 hours. Mm-hmm. I would drive for 6, stay for 1, drive back for 6.
Wow.
What about you?
That's nuts.
What about you?
I don't think I would. No. I kudos on you. I am definitely not driving.
You wouldn't drive for J. Cole. Yeah, you would.
Wait. Let's unpack this here, because I personally have a problem driving for more than I'm going to be staying there for. To me, it should.
Okay, but what if you didn't do all the driving? What if I drove? And you were just passenger princess for 12 whole hours. You'd do it.
No, but to be in a car, though, that long.
But in a car with me.
That's not the point. A car, though, that long, to come back, it just would feel like a waste for me of resources and time. I think it would depend, though, if that was my only chance on seeing him.
Okay.
That would be a little bit different.
Okay. Do you not believe that memories hold more value than time?
Well, memories are within time.
Okay, but like 12 hours of you sitting in a car, potentially making memories along the way of that road trip. Mm-hmm. Also seeing your favorite artist for an hour. Mm-hmm. You don't think that would be worth it?
It would. So I'm saying I'd probably do it.
So then what's your rebuttal here?
There's none. So I would do it.
Okay.
I would do it. Thoughts on, speaking of road trips, thoughts on road trips?
I love them. I think I would rather drive somewhere than fly somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Aside from your ears?
One, you have a vehicle. Your own vehicle.
Okay.
You can always rent a vehicle, obviously, when you get there. But comfort of your own vehicle. I think just like also making memories along the way. I think conversations that are had on road trips when you're driving for hours at a time, like I don't think I would ever do it by myself, a long road trip. But with people, I think I would much rather do that than be on a crammed plane for however many hours. A bunch of randos.
It's fair. I mean, I've done a couple of road trips. I did from Ontario to Alberta.
How was that?
It was in the midst of COVID, so I couldn't even go through the States, which kind of sucked. And it was when I was moving here. So I had all my stuff in the back. I did it with my friend Lucas, which is a real
Shout
one.
Out, Lucas,
Shout out. Because he came through with like seconds to spare before I was going to have to make my dad do it. So grateful that worked out, because to spend 38 hours in a car where my dad's like 6'2" and my car is like meant for small people, short people, that is. And he has a bad back, so I would have felt really bad. But
no, that probably wouldn't have been fun.
No, it wouldn't have been fun. But yeah, so that one was 38 hours. We did it in 42 hours. So we only stopped.
You guys were slacking.
I'm sorry?
You guys were slacking.
No, I don't think you heard me. So we drove 38 hours
Yeah.
across the span of 42 hours. It didn't take us. So yes, it took us 42 hours to get to Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a 38-hour drive.
Yeah.
Because it means that we stopped once for 4 hours.
Slacking.
I don't think you understand how.
I'm kidding.
I know you are, but I don't think you
Okay.
understand how crazy that is.
I know it's crazy. That must have been exhausting.
Oh yeah, we stopped. We stopped probably 2 times for food.
You just said you stopped once.
No. I mean like overnight, like long
Okay.
sitting stop.
Okay.
We stopped to eat at a restaurant in Thunder Bay. So after for driving for 18 hours, obviously we had to stop for gas too. Obviously,
Yeah,
but I mean like an actual stop where the car's not moving.
But I feel like at that point, it's not like a stop. Like when you're on your way to Calgary, you're like stretching your legs, taking your time. Like you're filling up gas and you're going,
Yeah,
right?
fill the tank and go. So what we did is we did tank for tank. Roughly when you're doing highway driving, your fuel efficiency in your car eventually will start to improve because it's constantly going. So the fuel efficiency, sorry, on my car went all the way down to I think like 6.7, which is like really good. So it means like the tank will last you a longer time. So we did tank for tank, which was roughly like 6 to 7 hours. And then we stopped for food at 2 restaurants. One was Olive Garden in Saskatchewan, and another was like some other restaurant in Thunder Bay.
Which one was better?
The restaurant in Thunder Bay was pretty good, to be honest. I don't remember what it was called, unfortunately. But it was really good. Olive Garden, my first time there, I think it was overhyped.
It's not very seasoned, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like their breadsticks, and that's about it.
Yeah, and then we stopped just shy of Manitoba for like 3 hours and
that
slept.
was to sleep, yeah.
Like,
Did you
where
guys
we
get a
both-
hotel or in the car?
In the car, on the side of the road.
Oh, you have a thing for side of the road, say?
Yeah, I do actually. So, speaking of the side of the road, before we end this first episode, what are your thoughts on stopping to help people change tires, or if someone's broken down on the side of the road? What are your thoughts on that?
I think we both kind of have the same opinion on it. I think that I've broken down many times and I've had no one stop. People honk and then they just keep driving. So I feel like I always think that like if I were in the other scenario, what would I want to happen, you know? So I kind of do like to stop. I mean, depending on if I'm by myself and it's like some random guy, I probably won't, just for like safety reasons. But I do like to stop and help people.
That's fair. I would say the same. I think it was like December of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I got stuck in my own subdivision in snow, and I want to say probably 50 people drove past me and didn't help me.
Did anyone say anything? Did they slow down? The thing is, they'll look.
Yeah, so many people looked. A couple people like rolled out the window
To get a better look.
To get a better look.
Yeah.
And then my buddy came from St. Albert, which is like a neighboring city, like 15 minutes away. And the snow was roughly like 25-minute drive to come help me. So I think from that time, I kind of said to myself, I said, okay, like anytime I see someone else stuck, I'll help them. So which leads to how we met, which was it June?
I think May.
Pretty sure May of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was raining, you know?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. April showers, big May flowers.
Yeah.
Something like that. So April, May, around there. It was raining. It was piss poor rain. And there's this Toyota Corolla.
Is that what it was?
It was a Toyota Corolla, yeah. I think it was like 2007 Toyota Corolla or something. It's like cream color. It was in the left lane.
It was, yeah.
And I was like, that's unfortunate. But I was like, hey, I promised to myself that I was going to stop.
So was this your first time stopping after you made that promise?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My first time stopping, so I said, I was like, it's raining. I was like, no, you promised yourself. So I pulled over, then see this blacked out Mercedes-Benz pull up, and I'm like, okay. And then it was you and your sister, and helped the guy with his car.
Tried to.
Yeah, I didn't have the right tools. And then the rest is history. And then we met, and it's been pretty swell ever since. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you never know what could come out of it. I think the other day when we helped that young.
Oh, Hassan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He paid me $50.
I mean, I think this goes back to the whole like unseen threads thing. You never know like why you take a different route to work, or like we were supposed to go a completely different way and we ended up going down that windy road
in the snow, which we normally wouldn't do.
Yeah. So I think that it also goes back to like the whole burnt toast theory, where if you're like late for work and you're like freaking out and whatever, like certain things happen for a certain reason, right? And you might not know it at the time. You might not ever know why it's happening, but you could miss an accident by minutes. You could take a different road than you normally take and be able to have the opportunity to help someone who didn't have a jack, who didn't have certain tools, who didn't even know how to really change a tire, right? He was so young. So I think the fact that us, out of all people, to come across and be able to help when that's something that we both know how to do, I think that was like, I think that was more for him than for us, but it was also like satisfying to be able to like lend a helping hand.
Yeah,
too, right?
I feel like for me, when I stop, I just have an urge, you know, like to.
Oh, I know you did.
Have an urge to help, you know.
It was a very dangerous road to stop on.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what would happen to him if we didn't stop?
That's very true. It was on like kind of a blind spot in the road too. So,
well, I mean, guess that's it for our first Unseen Threads. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
I actually do.
What is it?
I had one more point. What would you do if we did not have electricity because of the cold for 4 days? Meaning you didn't have your phone either. What would you do? Just nothing?
I would read my pilot textbooks in the dark with a candle. That's what I would do.
Okay.
What would you do?
Probably sleep.
For 4 days?
I could do it.
You probably could. Oh, that's an interesting question.
Because like we got the alert today, right? So it was like,
yeah.
Be careful with the electricity.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah.
As we have every single light on in here. But
I mean, in our electricity, it's your building.
Yeah,
true. That's fair. So I mean, that's about it. I mean, thanks for tuning in for those who did. Again, like I said, this podcast is sponsored by the 5K Enterprise. We'll have the link for their information down below. Go check them out. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, whatever those YouTubers
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And share it with, 5 of your closest friends. And if you see someone on the side of the road,
stop to help them.
Stop to help them, because you might have your own unseen thread unraveling as we speak.
Maybe one day we can have a podcast showing people how to change a tire.
I'm sure there's podcasts on that, but maybe.
I mean, I'm sure we can make it fun.
Yeah.
We could do it while you're
and you're eating your pickle cake.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see ya.
Later.
Pound it.
Dang.
Pound it. Snail. Ow.